Most people think wealth is about money, and it's not. Money is only the scoreboard. Wealth is the result of how you think, decide, delay gratification, and structure your behavior over long periods of time. If money were simply about effort, the hardest working people on earth would all be rich. They're not. And that fact alone should force you to question everything you've been told about success and wealth. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never want to hear. You are not broke because you don't work hard enough. You are broke because your mind was trained to survive, not to build. Survival thinking optimizes for comfort, certainty, and immediate relief. Wealth thinking optimizes for leverage, patience, and long-term advantage. These two operating systems cannot coexist. One will always dominate the other. Look at how most people handle money. They ask, how much does this cost? Wealth builders ask, what does this create? The poor focus on expenses. The wealthy focus on systems. One thinks in transactions. The other thinks in structures. This difference is invisible on the surface, but over time it creates a gap so wide, it looks like luck from the outside. The biggest lie you were taught is that income equals wealth. Income is not wealth. Income is a flow. Wealth is a stock. You can earn a high income and still be financially fragile if you lack control, structure, and delayed gratification. Real wealth is the ability to decide without panic. It's the ability to say no. It's the ability to wait. Most people never build wealth because they never develop financial patience. They want the reward before the process has compounded. They want results without discomfort. But money obeys the same law as strength, mastery, and skill. It compounds slowly, then suddenly, and most people quit before the suddenly ever arrives. Let me be very clear. There is no strategy that can save you if your identity is still operating at a consumption level. You cannot out-earn poor financial identity. You cannot hustle your way out of weak money habits. Until your self-image shifts from consumer to builder, every increase in income will simply create a new level of spending. Wealth builders play a completely different internal game. They delay gratification not because they are disciplined, but because they are future-oriented. They feel more satisfaction investing than consuming. They derive identity from ownership, not display. This is why flashy people rarely stay rich. Their nervous system is addicted to validation, not control. Here's a rule that will immediately change how you see money. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the future you're building. Every dollar you save or invest is a vote for control. Every impulsive purchase is a small declaration that comfort matters more than freedom. Over time, these micro votes compound into a lifestyle you can either escape from or are trapped inside. The wealthy are not smarter. They're calmer. They don't rush decisions. They don't emotionally react to opportunities. They don't chase trends. They wait. And waiting is a skill most people never train. Impatience is expensive. Emotional decisions destroy capital faster than bad strategies ever will. Let's talk about leverage, because this is where most people, leverage is not risk. Leverage is multiplication. Time leverage, skill leverage, capital leverage, system leverage. The poor trade time for money because time feels safe. The wealthy build assets that earn while they sleep because systems feel risky to the untrained mind. And here's the paradox. The longer you delay building leverage, the riskier your life becomes, depending entirely on your time. And energy is the most fragile position you can be in. One illness, one burnout, one disruption, and everything stops. Wealth is not about excess. It's about resilience. Most people try to feel rich instead of becoming wealthy. Feeling rich means spending. Becoming wealthy means restraint. Feeling rich is temporary. Wealth is permanent. This is why social media destroys financial discipline. It trains people to consume for image instead of build for control. Let's address fear, because fear is the real tax on wealth. Fear of missing out, fear of losing money, fear of being judged, fear of starting late. Fear keeps people stuck in mediocre financial loops. Wealth builders don't eliminate fear. They learn to operate with it. They make decisions based on data, not emotion. A powerful shift happens when you stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and start asking, "Does this align with my long-term system?" That one question filters out 80% of financial mistakes. Wealth is less about intelligence and more about filters. Strong filters protect your capital. Weak filters leak it. You don't need to know everything about finance to build wealth. You need to master a few principles and apply them relentlessly. Control your spending. Increase your earning power. Invest consistently. Avoid lifestyle inflation. Build assets, not liabilities. Repeat this long enough, and the math does the work for you. Here's what most people get wrong about investing. They think the goal is to make money fast. The real goal is to not lose money while compounding slowly. Speed is the enemy of consistency. Boring strategies win because they survive. And survival is underrated in a world addicted to excitement. Wealth builders understand that money is stored energy. It represents past effort that can be deployed into future systems. When you waste money, you waste stored effort. When you invest wisely, you extend your effort into the future. This perspective alone will make you more careful with how you spend. Your environment also plays a massive role in wealth. If everyone around you normalizes consumption, debt, and instant gratification, you will have to fight uphill every day. Wealth often requires social friction. You will say no when others say yes. You will look boring before you look successful. Let's talk about identity again, because this is where change actually sticks. You don't build wealth by trying harder. You build wealth by becoming someone who naturally makes long-term decisions. When your identity shifts, discipline becomes automatic. You stop forcing habits and start expressing who you are. Financial mastery is not about obsession. It's about clarity. Know your numbers. Track your spending. Understand where your money goes. Awareness alone can increase savings dramatically. You don't need motivation. You need visibility. The final truth I want you to understand is this. Wealth is quiet. It grows in the background. It doesn't announce itself early. If you're constantly chasing proof, you'll sabotage the process. If you can stay patient, consistent, and emotionally neutral, wealth becomes inevitable. If this message made you uncomfortable, that's good. Discomfort is often the signal that an old identity is being challenged. You don't need to change everything today. You need to change one behavior. That's how wealth is actually built. If this shifted how you think about money, don't let it fade. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment "I build wealth" to lock in this mindset. The next cycle builds on this foundation.